Hello, everybody, and welcome one and all to the Chaos Protocol. No matter if you are tuning in for the first or 200th time, we are Transplater RPG, an all transgender, people of color-led dark fantasy actual play channel telling stories set in an original non-colonial anti-orientalist multiverse. This means we stand against genocide and ethnic cleansing and support all oppressed peoples of this world struggling against injustice, imperialism, and colonization. We must use our voices to build solidarity and fight for the worlds we wish to see. So to that end, free Sudan, free DRC, free Palestine, abolish ICE, and free all oppressed peoples of this world. Thank you all so much for showing up to support our story tonight. If you're watching this right here and right now, you are seeing the live recordings of Arc 3, episodes 29 and 30, aka the penultimate episodes of Arc 3 on Twitch or possibly on YouTube. There's only one more episode left in this arc after tonight, y'all, so buckle up. It's gonna get chaotic. Before we get started, though, allow me to introduce my fantabulous cast for the evening, starting with our incredible guest for Arc 3, Humna.
Hello everyone, my name is Humna. I use any and all pronouns, and today I will be playing Rhododendron Tekrar, who uses they/ray pronouns, who is ready for a duel to the end. Take it away, Val.
Hello everyone, my name is Valiant Dorian. I use him, his pronouns. You can find me all across the internet at Valiant Dorian or at Otto Spirit Bear. Please enjoy that lovely treasure hunt I just set you on. Tonight, I have the distinct pleasure of playing your favorite Doom guy, Sayer. Uses he, they pronouns. Passing it on over to the lover boy of the hour.
Oh. Hi everyone, I'm Kai. I use he, they, and she pronouns, and I'm back tonight playing apparently the lover boy of the hour, Mr. Zanin Esh, who uses he, him pronouns. Who's had a lovely time here in Inferno. I'll bounce on over to the chronologist and healer of Strike Team Nova.
That's it. That's me. Hi, everyone. I'm Samstar. I use she, they, and the occasional they pronouns. And tonight I have everyone's favorite pleasure, and mine most specifically, of playing Lumira, who uses she, her pronouns, our resident chronologist and healer. What's going on, boss?
It's me, boss. Before we get into things, a certain someone on the cast has recently celebrated his birthday. Valiant Dorian. Ooh.
Oh yeah?
Mr. Love Wins himself. So we're gonna do... We are gonna do the Transplaner tradition, and we're gonna sing happy birthday to Val on stream. Terribly, feel free to join along in chat and wish Val a happy birthday. Okay, we're gonna do this. All right, it's not gonna sound like a dirge. It's gonna be like upbeat. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Val. Happy birthday to you. Amazing.
I love you all. Thank you so much.
I love you, Val. We all love you. Yay. I really do have to take like half of my earbud out for that, or else I will lose the plot.
That was the first time I did that. That was smart.
It's very smart, right? So to start off announcements after that happy birthday, a big thank you to our major sponsors for Arc 3. Oh, we only have 2 episodes left to thank them. So Explain Trade, Hero Forge, and Frivolous Bear Studios. This is the second to last time I'll get to do this for Arc 3. So look, behold, whoa, Hero Forge color statuette, be a putty. Check them out at bit.ly/transforge, capital T, capital F, and nab yourself one of these bad boys. Could a depressed person make this? I don't think so. Maybe. Check it out. Check it out. And you don't even have to buy anything from the link. Just click on it and it really helps. We've got 2 episodes left to really bump that link up and tell Hero Forge that we love them and that we support their stuff. Speaking of supporting things, our good friend and podcast editor, Marissa Ewing, if you haven't heard already, of Hemlock Creek Productions, they are crowdfunding for their very queer 2nd season of their award-winning supernatural horror audio drama, Liars and Leeches. Liars and Leeches follows a woman navigating grief and terror in a home where memories, and perhaps something more than just memories, lurk. For season 2, they're expanding their incredible cast and crew to include Brandon Boone, the composer for the hit horror game Slay the Princess, which I can't get enough of, and Ross McFarlane, one of the writers for the audio drama Folks Lore. Support their crowdfunder at bit.ly/liarss2. Let's just click on that link, check it out, see what cool perks you can get, and listen to season 1 of Liars and Leeches wherever you pod your casts to check out this show. Speaking of folks to thank, I'm going to pass things over to Humna.
We would also like to thank our Patreon pre-subs. Thank you so much for supporting the show and for helping us be able to do the work that we do. So thank you to Ozra, Brooke, Cassidy, Clay, Elvira, Gridrunner404, Mainman13, Mark J, Nikolai, Phil, Robert Burke, Rose, Sergeant Danes, Spencer, Squareheart, Taylor, The Bow System, and Zoe. You, if you have not already, which if you haven't, why haven't you? But you can also join their illustrious ranks by using !Patreon in the chat. Consider pledging at the free tier for $0 or the $3 tier to start, or you could even gift a subscription to a loved one. What's a better gift than unlocking behind-the-scenes content of Transplaner and even monthly discounts on the merch store, which, Val?
Y'all, we just experienced a wonderful happy birthday. And you all make this birthday even more special is if you, fans of Transplaner, can go over to transplanerrpg.shop and find gorgeous apparel, home goods, and accessories designed by my husband. Everyone, you know it in the chat. Our husband! And you can do that by using !merch in chat or to go to transplanerrpg.shop. We've got a bunch of brand new stuff in the works, so go grab yourself some spring fits so we can make our pattern button-ups and matching skirts a reality. Also, we just might be debuting some brand new God Killer Last Hope merch soon, so please keep your eyes peeled. And I'm going to pass it on over to Kai.
If you've enjoyed the Chaos Protocol, please consider donating and leaving us a tip. All tips go directly to support the performers and will also support our incredible mod team. Your donations help make our work possible. Use !donate in chat and toss a coin to the Twilight Guard. It really helps us continue to do the work we do and makes future fundraising possible. All right, Sam, for the penultimate episode, let's go.
Last time on the Chaos Protocol. As Strike Team Nova reels, Ro and Tavash finally have a long overdue conversation. Armed with truth and clarity, they decide to duel once more at the bloodbath to bring their feud to its fated end, but only after they've had time to decide what they truly want. Nova accompanies Tavash through a difficult conversation with Aditi and return back to their apartment to find someone from the syndicate had come looking for them. The next night, Nova attends the bloodbath at the Recluse Gallery and have their final moments with Toyin, Sing Sing, and Diablo before the duel begins. And that's what you missed last time. Use !recap in chat to read our full written recap document. And off to Connie for some self-care tips.
It's me, Connie, with some self-care tips. So, the Chaos Protocol is a dark fantasy series that may contain content that is triggering for some viewers. Content warnings for this session may include fantasy violence, blood, grief, trauma, vampirism, romance, references to sex, complex character dynamics, conflict between family members, food and drink, substance use, and mentions of spiders. So use !CW in the Twitch chat to get a look at our content warnings at any time. If you're on YouTube, our mods will be posting these content warnings in the chat every now and then, so keep your eyes peeled there. Now moving on to the title of tonight's episode. It is The Chorus Wavers, The Death of Death Flees. From Praying Beside the Teeth That Killed Me by Connie Chong. Let's begin. Two houses, both alike in dignity. In fair inferno where we lay our scene, from ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where undead blood bears undead grief now seen. From forth this doomed cycle births anew, a pair of star-crossed lovers staking claim, o'er the tangled web and bird that flew, above a crypt where love could not remain. The past has fangs that bite as serpents would. The now repeats 1,000 glooms. That which has not occurred may never could, but hate cannot inter with open tomb. So soft, and you with hopeful ears attend the spider, and rear fearsome strike's last end. All of Inferno is here, the brooding cooks and ambitious restaurateurs of House Kuatun, the cheerful monks and humble devotees of House Ula, the rapacious readers and diligent educators of House Huyen, the industrious workers and high-minded designers of House Lanius, and of course, the artists, crafters, and storytellers of House Drakkar. All of Inferno is here to watch and to witness. But the only person who exists right now for you, Rhododendron, is Tavash. Tavash in that crimson jacket and black collared shirt. Tavash leaning against their dark wooden cane engraved with veins of glistening gemstone. Tavash with their red-tinted spectacles, their golden glasses chain, their expression of unyielding sorrow now hidden, as they turn on their heel and stride to the rhythm of Diablo's countdown. As you take the customary 8 steps outward, Ro, your mind is filled with singular intent. One thought, one need, one desire brims within you, stirring the unflowing blood in your twice-bitten veins. What is it?
It's to make a choice. To make a choice for the first time in Ro's life that isn't bound by the house, that isn't bound by obligation, by expectation, but to make a choice for themselves.
And Ro, that's when Diablo says, "Begin!" You and Tavash turn to face each other at the exact same time, and in that moment, and for every moment thereafter until the end of this duel, of this dance, all you can see and all that matters is them. The city around you fades to ash, to mist, to blood. Tell me, Ro, who has the upper hand in this moment?
It's Tavash, because Ro lets them. Because Ro is waiting for Tavash to strike first, to come to them, so that they can begin this duel, so that they can end this.
Tavash flits forward with the speed and dexterity of a shadow glitching out of light's domain, and they take out from the folds of their jacket their weapon, their tool, their craft. It is an iron chisel, sharpened to a deadly point as good as a stake might be, and that chisel is going straight toward your chest, but not with the same unyielding fervor, the rage of that archway encounter. There is something more precise here, intentional. They want to see how you'll react, how you'll parry, how you'll move against them, and that chisel comes down there, right up next to you, face to face, chest to chest. How do you respond?
Ro puts out a hand and takes Tavash's that is wrapped around that iron chisel into their own, as if it was an offer extended out to them. And they stop it with just enough force that the tip of that chisel is maybe centimeters away from Ro's chest. And Ro smiles at Tavash. Well, aren't you going to say hello?
As you stop them, they use the inert momentum to turn both of you in a circle, and you feel their other hand grab toward your elbow, almost as though they're dipping you in a dance, in a vicious swoop. It feels both violent and graceful, this gesture. And they say without skipping a beat, and the memory of that new moon, the shade of it, the starlight filtering through the shattered archway, it reaches you at the same time as they say, I like what you've done with your hair. Very... you. Like you want to be seen, for once.
As Tavash dips Ro's hand goes to their hip where that rapier is kept and pulls it out, unsheaths it. Just as Ro's head tips back, the rapier comes up in this beautiful arc, almost like Ro is performing a rond de jambe with the rapier, and holds it out at an angle, looks up at Tavash. You know, I've seen the new cathedral that you've been working on. You've always been one for grandeur. Cantilevers. You wear your heart so openly, even when it's perched atop a cliff. And with that, Ro kicks their one foot, brings themselves back up with that momentum, holds onto Tavash's waist for leverage, and spins them around, bringing that rapier up to Tavash's throat, threatening to cut.
Every movement that the two of you exchange between each other, each physical action, it speaks volumes as much as your dialogue does. They wield their chisel as a tool, yes, as an art piece, yes. It blends sculpture and architecture in this perfect way. It is fine, it is precise, but it is also unyielding. And they parry the point of your rapier with the point of their chisel. They bat it to the side. They spin into you as though they were asking you to hold them, but in that same gesture, bring the chisel down toward your leg, where if your blood still ran through your body, it would attack a vital artery. At the same time, they say, tossing over their shoulder almost casually, and you yourself do not create, but I do wonder what you might write into being if you did.
Ro brings their leg up just in time to avoid the iron chisel and jumps over it, bringing their one leg back to kick at Tavash's hand that is holding on to that chisel. As they do so, the lenga that they're wearing flows up and outward, this beautiful cascade wave of fabric behind them glittering. You're right. I don't make art, but I know good art when I see it. I can see the heart behind your work. Divine buildings with divine proportions, reaching out to touch the gods. No, to make art so divine that even the gods themselves couldn't dream of it.
As your leg comes out, the linga flutters like a wing behind you. They pull back, leaning away from the violence implied by the kick. But they use the momentum to turn once more. They wield the chisel, and a gap is created between the two of you. The two of you spring apart. This whole time you were very close together. Now a bit of space is created. And they regard you carefully. There is something glimmering in the depths of those crimson eyes. It is a question. A real question. And it comes out in the same breath as they leap forward again, this time striking toward your navel and then flicking it up toward your chin in the same gesture. What do you want for yourself, Ro?
Ro goes to block, but sees the direction, the arc of the movement of that chisel, and allows it to make contact with Rare Chin. And they take that moment to wrap the rapier behind Tavash's back, grabbing the blade with their other hand, and they pull Tavash in closer to them. I never said it, but I did care about you back then, my fearsome Shrike. Truthfully, fearfully, I loved you. And with that, Ro brings the rapier out and thrusts it towards Tavash's stomach, the center of their torso. And even as my house claims me, even as the hatred of our families clouded my vision, despite my best attempts, I still love you. A thrust, a movement forward in time to the music. I love my family. Another thrust, another step forward. I love my house. Another thrust, step forward. And I love you. A slash going towards Tavash.
When you first say the words, I loved you, Tavash looks for the first time in this duel, this duet, off balance. But it is with your advance that they catch themselves again. Every reiteration of your intent, every weaving of your web, it catches them. They realize that what you're saying is truth, is born from your own autonomy, is born from your own decisions. Each step backward as you take a step forward, a thrust forward, a retreat, a retreat, a retreat. They're almost at the edge of this circle now, formed by Inferno, but you only have eyes for each other. And then they pause, taking you in, taking all of you in. They know how much that means, coming from you especially, where love is a curse, a burden, a web, a sword hanging over your head. And they say, I must be honest with you as well. And now they parry forward, the stake coming out, they deflect the point of your blade, they take a step forward. A part of me had fantasized, in the time apart, another step forward, that perhaps we'd grown, that we'd evolved beyond the pain of everything that had been shattered, and a parry again against the clang of your steel between us. But I woke up from that nightmare, and I tried to build a new one of my own. That is why I enacted that ritual. I sought to bind our deaths together. If we could not be together in life, at least I could make that promise to you in second death. And another step forward until you are back in the center again, and then you see it hanging on their face, as heavy as it had hung on Yara's face the night before. Guilt. And Tavash says, I didn't let you choose that binding. Would you now?
Ro retreats. With every step that Tavash takes towards them, they retreat. And at that last thrust, Ro's rapier comes up, an extension of their own hand, the chisel an extension of Tavash's, and as the steel of the rapier's blade meets the iron of the chisel, Ro pushes back and twirls Tavash, as if their palms were touching, twirls them around and brings them in, the point of the rapier pressed up against Tavash's back. And Ro laughs. Ro laughs. Not at Tavash, but at the notion that they would pick anything else. And Ro, only speaking to Tavash, only seeing Tavash, says, so close to Tada ear. You knew what you wanted. I couldn't accept it, but you always knew. You were never the one who cursed me. You were never the reason doom was falling upon me, my family, my house. It was never your fault. Tavash, my Shrike, we were always bound to each other, regardless of what we did, magic, ritual, or not. Because I am a Takrar, and you are Elanius. The history of our houses binds us together. It always has. But even if it didn't, and Ro presses that tip of the rapier further in, drawing the slightest bit of blood from Tavash, Ray says, but even if it didn't, I would choose to bind myself to you, in life and in death.
The sharpened point of Tavash's stake digs into the pit of your stomach as your blade carves into the small of their back, and it too draws just the slightest bead of blood as they look up into your piercing yellow eyes. And they say, "You're right, Ro. My weaving spider. I have always known what I wanted. And I had once dared to hope that I could have it. I want to take risks, to take a stand, to try to create something more than what's come before. And I wanted you, Ro. I wanted you to be a part of it, and I selfishly, fearfully wrought a ritual to make sure that would come to pass, for good or for ill. But now I see I have been foolish, for you're right. We've always been bound, haven't we? Even if our houses weren't enmeshed, we would have found each other, made a mess of our own, tangled our own threads, our own wings and webs together.
Ro steps forward, leaning into that iron chisel. And just as they do, they can feel that chisel work its way deeper into their body, the blood starting to pool a little bit faster now. You said that one must pave their own path and build their own legacy. I didn't know what that meant. But I know now the legacy that I want to build, the path that I want to carve. I am heir to House Takrar. And I accept that, now. Whether I want it or not, it's mine. And I love my house, and I love my family, and I love you. All of those things can be true at once.
There was once a time I wished, I hoped so desperately you would shout those 3 words from the rooftops of buildings I would have designed. But now I know. It is sweetest when said first just to me. You're right, Ro. Perhaps you need to spread your wings as heir and choose what that means for you, but I too wish to claim my place in Lanius, but I must stay rooted in the web of our interconnected unlives. Rhododendron of our interconnected houses. Our paths. I must be grounded. I must be steady. I must be reliable in a way I wasn't for you. But I want things to be different.
And Ro pushes that rapier deeper into Tavash's back, brings their other hand around to touch not the hilt, not the basket, not the blade, but Tavash's back at the wound, running their fingers along it, feeling the blood coating their fingers, their claws. Then let me spin you into the web and take me under your wing. Let's end this.
I don't know what the future holds. And as they say that, you feel one of their fingers dip against the wound they've carved into the pit of your stomach, into your abdomen, right above the navel. You feel them taste the blood of your stomach with their own fingers. And with that sharp pain comes a sharp clarity. But I know I want to find out together with you.
And as if it was choreographed, as if it was a dance, as if it was a performance, because it is, but it's not. Ro pulls their hand back and places it on Tavash's chest, over Tada heart.
Tavash does exactly the same motion in perfect synchronicity with you, as though you had discussed this beforehand, but of course you haven't. But you also have, in a manner of speaking. You are both so right, you have always been entangled. The web woven between the two of you, the foundation you're building now, it rings and sings through both of your bones, your undead marrow, your unbeating hearts. They make the same motion over your chest that you do over theirs. They draw an X over your heart with your own blood.
And Ro does the same to Tavash, an X to mirror their own over Tavash's heart. And they take a moment, they take a beat, a synchronized breath in and breath out with Tavash. And then Ro goes for the end. Ro thrusts towards Tavash, that blade of the rapier looking like it is going straight for Tavash's heart. But Ro misses. And instead, the blade of Ro's rapier meets the red string tapestry that had been hanging behind Tavash this whole time. The tapestry, Inferno, cut to pieces with one deft blow.
And at the same time, Ro, Tavash thrusts their stake forward, and it seems for a second that they're going for the killing blow, that this will pierce your heart and end this. But they miss as well, intentionally. On purpose, it slides in that slender gap between arm and torso. At the same time, their hand thrust forward behind your head, your wrists thrust forward behind theirs. And they throw their stake in a single deft motion, and the chisel lands with a clatter. It skids across the floor, and it comes to a stop at the feet of Willow Trakar. There's a smear of blood on the ground, but Tavash still only has eyes for you, Ro, and the two of you do not see this, because your gazes are intertwined, they are enmeshed. But the X's across your chests, for a second, stutter. In reality, they glitch. There is silence. And then Diablo's voice breaks this stunned reverie, and he says, "The duel is finished! Rhododendron Tracar of House Tracar and Tavash Lanius of House Lanius have interred their grievances in its overdue grave. So it is said, so it is done. And there is a collective intake of breath. Shock ripples through the gallery. Looks of astonishment command every single expression. And then, as it becomes clear that this is indeed the choice that the architect of sorrow and the twice bitten, crowned by tears have made, those looks of shock give way to a mixture of reactions. Some look ecstatic. We see a few members of a few houses smiling in relief, nodding at this outcome, applauding even. Scattered claps abound, and among them we find Diablo, the adjudicator, who turns to face Ro and Tavash with an expression of unbridled pride, and joy, and relief, and love. Anugata leans into Sakti, nudging the Mogul's arm. Huh! This changes things, huh? And Sakti shakes her head, still halfway suspended in shock. She muses out loud. I'll be damned. Never thought I'd live to see the night. Others look torn, uncertain, afraid. Even a few members of a few houses whisper amongst each other, muttering and murmuring, unsure if this outcome brings good tidings or ill ones. Ting Sing tilts their head to the side and muses out loud, well, this is an interesting outcome. Things will be different from now on, that's for sure. But how the ripples play out, only time will tell. Twayan Ifueko runs her thumb over her knuckles. Many emotions play across her face. Shock, uncertainty, hesitation, but most of all, concern. Her hazel eyes flit across the room to find her daughter, Anise, who stands beside Yara Trakar. Before this moment, her child's place in the tapestry had been assured, but now, who knows? Still others look openly disapproving. A few members of a few houses shake their heads, they frown, they cross their arms, they mutter darkly. Change of any sort, much less change of this degree and intensity, can be terrifying. It can be violent. It can birth unexpected and devastating consequences. As for Willow and Aditi, for the first time in a long time, perhaps for the first time ever, these two matriarchs look more aligned than opposed. Both of them are shocked. Both of them are stunned. Both of them are currently at a complete loss for words. Strike Team Nova! How do each of you respond to the end of this duel and this dance?
I think
Sinan doesn't.
Lumira-
Oh,
go ahead.
no, you go.
I was gonna say, to be completely honest with you, Connie, I think Lumira looked much like me that entire time, with my hands, with her hands over her face, in just like a matter of like, almost kind of like a sports spectator, like someone who's watching a football game but is like way too invested in it, so they're like flinching every time someone moves or like says something. They're just like, oh. Like, I think that's very much Lumira, viscerally watching this, as if, almost as if her own destiny as well is tied up in this fight.
Sinan stood and watched, similarly to Lumira, though not as big, because he's watched people fight to the death maybe more times than most people. He winces a little, but the biggest thing that he feels at the end of all of it is relief, that same relief that he experienced upon arriving in Inferno. Choice and freedom, the thing that Inferno embodies to him. Fully on display with these two people who just needed to choose with open eyes. And he smiles and lets out a "Hoo!"
Sayre looks upon the scene with a relieved smile and an exhale of they chose each other. In the end, they chose each other. Blood splitting off a promise and with new beginnings. What we see as his gaze pans down is that his left hand is gripped against a clay stone stand holding one of the exhibits, and it cracked under the stress and pressure that he was gripping it.
And Sayre, as you crack the stone statue, actually a few pieces of it come loose and start to fall and clatter toward the ground. But then there's a muffling sound as Yinghe holds out their hand and kind of tenses their dark gift around it and swallows it into silence. And then you feel their own hand touch the fingers of your other arm. They look up at you, and you see that their silver eyes are brimming with tears that now overflow. This whole time they were literally biting their nails. And similar to Zion, there's a look of relief. And similar to Lumira, there's a kind of faded entanglement in their expression as well. They, as someone whose purpose had already come to pass, they are nothing but choice and the terrifying freedom that that entails. And this, for them, emboldens hope within those flickering shadows. They smile up at you, and then they kind of grab onto a sleeve of yours and wipe their face in it.
And Sayre pulls Yinghe close and presses a kiss on their forehead and squeezes them in a stress-relieving hug of, "Whew. We made it through. We made it through."
And that is when Yara Trakar steps forward into the dead center of this uncertainty. And we see that she is holding Anis Ifueco's hand. And wordlessly, effortlessly, the two young women begin to dance. They rotate throughout this open space created by the passionate violence of the duel. Yara throws her head back and laughs and smiles as Anis dips her. And with that motion, with that fluid, easy grace, a change comes over the recluse gallery. The tension, the uncertainty, the whispers, the gossip, bit by bit, it all starts to dissipate as another member of the tapestry steps forward to join the dance, and then another, and one by one by one by one, the houses of Inferno join the littlest spider and the daring fox as they transform the aftermath of the duel into a dance floor. And somewhere, speakers crackle to life, and music begins to play, an elegant and lively track that compels more feet to move. The tension, of course, isn't completely gone, and parts of the uncertainty still linger. There will be rumors, there will be gossip, there will be clashing points of view and pain, and suffering, and cycles. And there will also be change. And tonight, like many nights long ago on River Hill Road in Inferno, there will be dancing. Bro, as the music starts, and bodies begin to move all around you, sweeping you into this anonymity of sorts, you catch Tavash's crimson eyes for a split second. And then you see her over Tavash's shoulder, Aditi Lanius, cutting across the dance floor like a bird of prey toward the architect of sorrow. You see Aditi's eyes move past your face, locking onto someone behind your back, over your shoulder, and based on the look in Tada gaze, you can hazard a guess about who it is.
Before all of the movement and the chatter, Ro had been so close to Tavash's face, to the point where they could feel, smell, hear Tavash's breath against their own, could resonate on the same frequency with Tavash in that moment, like nobody else was even here. And it's not until Yara starts moving towards the dance floor, well, what is now, I suppose, an art gallery turned dance floor, that Ro turns around and takes in everything that happens. And when they see that look on Aditi Lanius's face, Ro turns around, their back to Tavash, not leaving the space that Ro is in, but turning to face the music, so to speak.
Tavash does the exact same thing at the exact same time. The two of you are back to back, about to have, yet again, the hardest conversations of your lives. And you see her, your mother. She moves with purpose, with precision, with the cold, calm efficiency you are so used to. But there's something different to her movements this time. There is something raw and unprecedented you've never seen before. And peeling away from the dance floor is Yara, who quickly joins your side as Willow draws to a halt in front of her two children. And Willow says, not with anger or even disappointment, but just clear, plain, unfettered shock. What are you doing?
There is a beat, a moment, where all of Ro's instincts, everything that Ro has been up until now, threaten to burst forth. And it takes an active, concerted effort for once, for Ro to not don the mask. It had become a reflex to put it on. Ironic, given how difficult it always has been for Ro to keep it on. But in this moment, they push back against that instinct, and they hold their ground. Ro holds out a hand, searching for Yara's without looking for it, to ground them in this moment, to give them...
You find it instantly. She squeezes your hand back.
Thankful for that point of contact, for that comfort. Ro answers their parents' question. Things have to change. This is change.
Tavash Lanius betrayed you, Rhododendron. How? How could you possibly forgive them after everything they've done to you? Done to us? Done to our house?
Ro looks at Yara for a second as Willow says that Tavash has hurt our house, and looks back. Tavash and the Laniuses have done a lot to our house, just as we have done a lot to them. But Tavash didn't betray me. I learned that last night. I was shown the truth last night. He never betrayed me. He showed up. After we left, Ta showed up.
To confirm the kill, no doubt.
No. Everything that we thought that we knew about the Lanius house, about ourselves, about our history has been a lie, Mother. Did you know about Olea?
Olea? Who? Explain yourself, Rhododendron.
In the story, about Dianthus and Lupin, about how they fought each other and one betrayed the other and we could never agree on who started it. It turns out that there was another. Olea.
And Rhododendron, you tell your mother. You tell your mother everything you saw after you were blasted through the archway, the truth of it, ringing from your words. It is undeniable, unmistakable that this is what happened. How you came into this knowledge is secondary to what Willow will do in the face of it. And when you are done weaving your web, this web of certainty, truth, and assurance, the shock starts to fade from Willow's face, replaced by something more solid, darker, more familiar. And her mouth closes, burns into a hard line, and she says, "The origins of the ire between our houses, frankly, it matters not. Whether what the architect of sorrow did to you was by intention and design, or by accident and misunderstanding, whether Luban and Dianthus leapt at each other's throats because of hubris or because of a lost lover." And she leans in, and the word falls out of her mouth like a bomb, like a piece of shrapnel. She can barely stand to say it, even in this context. Love is still doom.
Mother, I know that the Builder has taken a lot from you, has taken a lot from us. And they bring doom upon our house, but we bring doom upon theirs. And if we're going to be doomed anyway, because we love, because we are loved, wouldn't it be better to face doom together than to avoid it alone?
What? And at this point, Yara squeezes your hand and steps forward. And she takes in a deep breath, and the words kind of spill out of her in a big, courageous garble, as though she were summoning all of the bravery within herself to say this right here, right now. And she says, "Ro and I talked, Mom, and we want to be heirs, like you've always taught us how to do, like you've always wanted us to do, because that is what we want. But we also want to be able to decide what that means, what that looks like, and we want to do it together, openly, so love doesn't feel like a jagged blade. And we want..." And she looks at you, Ro, asking permission in her eyes to invite your mother into this.
And Ro nods, the same desire coloring their expression.
And Yara turns back to Willow. "We want you to be a part of it too. Because I love Ro. I loved Aster. I still do. I miss her every day. And I love you, Mom."
And I do too. I love Aster. I love Yara. And I love you, Mom. And it doesn't have to be a curse. Let us love you. Let us love each other.
Willow takes a half step back. First time in your entire life that you've known your mother, she takes a half step back away from you, reeling from the shock of it, taking this all in. You can almost sense her world fracturing around her. And behind her, on a nearby wall of the installation, we see a painting framing her head like a halo. A painting of a wolf mother, trapped in the gnarled roots of a willow tree, and we see the pups slipping through the gaps of that tree. They're smaller and younger, but the mother wolf, she's too big to fit through. She can barely make it. She's gnawing and snapping at the roots, but she's not even concerned about her own survival. We see in the burning eyes of that lupine face, all she wants to do is make sure her pups will survive. And Willow's yellow eyes fix onto your identical one, Ro. Rhododendron, Yara Trakar, And the word The word is there. It is in the pit of her mouth, the back of her throat. But she's choking on it. It's like a razor blade lodged inside her neck, and it cuts her with the effort of speaking around it. She closes her mouth, and she says, if the curse, if the doom of our house were to take me from the two of you, this would simply be the way. It would be okay. Because the two of you are the heirs to House Drakkar. You are the future of our house. You are the futures of Inferno. But if the curse, the doom, took even one more of you before I... Children are not supposed to outlive their mothers. Sorry. Children are supposed to outlive their mothers. Mothers are not supposed to outlive their children. I would never forgive myself if I survived while either of you two did not. I cannot risk that. I cannot abide that. I cannot suffer through that. Not again.
Ro sees that razor blade in Willow's throat, sees the way that the word, the feeling is there. And Ro understands. Doesn't understand, understands. And I think Ro can see the wide gulf between himself and Yara, between the two of them and their mother in this moment. A gulf that doesn't have a bridge built on it just yet. There is no way for Willow to cross. But she's there, on the other side, standing. And so Ro doesn't fight back. They squeeze Yada's hand a little tighter, and they say, Mother, I am the heir to our house. It has been your job as head of house to take care of us for many, many centuries. But now, that is my job. It is my task to take care of the entire house, to take care of Yara, to take care of me. And this is how I want to do it. This is how I choose to do it.
And you see your mother on the other side of that river? No bridge between the two of you, not here, not now, not yet, but you're right, she's there. And you know that your mother, she can't, Ro, she can't meet you where you are right now. But whether or not she's going to get in your way... Her face settles, she swallows the razor blade, looks at you, in a new kind of way. In a way she only really looked at Aster. It's familiar like that, but it's also different. Because she's not wishing for the first time that you were her lost son. She's seeing you, Rhododendron Drakkar. And she nods. There is an acceptance in that. 你说的话有道理. When she looks back at you, there is a mask back on her face, but there's also a crack, a hairline fracture through it. So you see the truth, the authenticity, the resonance of what she says is not just a performance. It is, but it's not just. And she says, be the spider. Honor the house.
I will weave with love. Moving forward. That is the spider I choose to be.
Willow closes her eye, and when she opens it again, that hairline fracture has sutured itself back up as though it were never there in the first place. She looks at Yara as well, and then turns and goes.
Immediately, Ro spins Yara around and goes to give her a big hug, more so for Ro than for Yara, as a way to release all of the tension that had been tightening itself, knitting itself into Ro's body during that entire conversation.
Exactly the same for Yara. Like, as soon as Willow goes into the crowd, she, like, holds you tightly like a drowning man. Like, she lets out a big, deep breath, all the tension going out of her body. She looks back up at you. We did it. Oh, ancestors, we did it.
Oh, I can't feel my toes, but that...
Me neither. I don't think they exist anymore. I don't know if my feet exist anymore. Can you check? Like, just look? I can't look.
And I think Ro, like, kicks Yara's feet with theirs.
Okay, yep, they're there, asshole. And she kicks you back.
Ow! What the hell? I do wish that would have gone a little better.
Yeah, me too. It's hard, because I really feel like we really put ourselves out there, and she's in so much pain, Ro. Mom is just... She's just hurting so much.
I know. We all are, but... Well, Mom's been around longer, has had a lot more to deal with.
Yeah.
I can't help but... Part of me can't help but wish, you know, anyway. Like, none of that would matter in the face of us, but that's just wishful thinking.
Maybe she'll get there, you know? One day.
One day.
But we can do this, you and me. Whether or not Mom's there with us, whether or not she comes around one day, whether or not she never comes around, is never able to, I'll be okay if I've got you.
You will always have me. Even when you don't want me around, I will still be there.
Yeah, same. You're never gonna get rid of your annoying little sister.
I love you.
I love you too. And she hugs you again, releases you, and that is when the two of you sense on your periphery raised voices behind you finally tapering down. Because this entire time, while you were talking to Aditi, while you were talking to Willow, Tavash was talking to Aditi. You didn't catch the exact peculiarities of what they were saying, but it was definitely a lot louder than the House to the Car conversation, I can tell you that. And as you and Yara notice this, we see the tail end of this discussion between the Shrikes. And we see the slump of Aditi's shoulders, we see her take a step back away from Tavash, and we see that all the fight is going out of her. She is a fuse that is already blown, and now in this split second, in this crack in her foundation, she just looks sad. Frustrated, yes. Scared, indubitably. Exhausted, most certainly, but most of all, just sad. We see a woman worn down by centuries of grief, of trauma, of pain, of loss. Loss she has not even begun to contend with, begun to think about beyond violence, beyond vengeance. A bird that has never stopped flying for one moment, because to do so would be to look at that deep, unbearable well of sadness and try not to plummet inside. And for a second, it looks like Aditi's just going to turn on her heel and leave. But then something comes over her, a moment of vulnerability, a moment of sincerity to whatever it is that Tavash said to her last. She raises one strong, broad arm, and she gently cups the side of Tavash's face in her hand. And she says, barely above a whisper, "You look so much like your mother in certain lights." Drops the hand, turns, goes. For a second, you see Tavash standing there, their back to you, alone, leaning against their cane, their expression unable to be seen from this angle.
It is the smallest, subtlest of moments. But Ro, in their own way of comforting Tavash as Aditi leaves, they take their hand and they press their palm against Tavash's free and open palm.
Tavash moves as they sense your touch. Their head lifts. They turn to look at you. And you see a mixture of emotions on their face. A grim smile cuts across their mouth. Well, that wasn't perfect. But it was a start, I suppose.
As much as we try, nothing in Inferno is ever perfect.
It would be folly to attempt otherwise. I did hope for some sort of reconciliation, but perhaps that was just wishful thinking. And Yara nudges you in the ribs as Tavash says that, and they kind of chuckle up at you. That's what you said.
Yeah. Well,
actually... And Tavash gently releases their palm from yours. They take a step back, and facing the two of you, they let out a low bow and extend a hand as though in a formal invitation to dance.
and Ro laughs at that, that performance, that exaggerated formality. Ro bows back and puts their hand out to accept Tavash's.
Oh, actually, I was hoping the littlest spider might honor me with this dance. Me? Yara looks down at you, bro, and then back over at Tavash.
And Ro is speechless at that. Ro's like, well, I will find someone else to dance with then. And kind of like looks at Yara like with their face asking like, is this okay given everything that had just happened between Yara and Tavash?
And Yara, in response, looks back over at Tavash with like raised and inquisitive eyebrows and questioning eyes. And Tavash says, if I am to start building my own future in Inferno, I should begin by mending bridges unfairly burnt. I owe you an apology, Yero Trakar. May I have this dance? Well. Huh. Whatever. You know, I guess you would know what it's like to make mediocre art. Tavash, still hinged at the hips, kind of takes that on the chin. Touché. But fine. I will honor you with the presence of my dance. And she bends as well and accepts the hand. And Tavash kind of sweeps her into a dance, looking at you, Ro, as they do.
Ro smiles, shaking their head, watching a rare little sibling walk away with Tavash, and just gives Tavash a look like, be nice.
And the response is, I will. What about her? A kind of look, and then like they're both gone, like into the fray. And as they get spun away, you sense someone approaching you from the side, and then taking up both of your hands is Diablo, with a big smile on their face, and they spin you into a dance as well, with a grin. And they kind of lean into your ear, and they just say, well done.
Thank you for your support, for everything. And I'm sorry.
Of course. Rhododendron, you are one of my closest friends. You will always have my support, my sword, and my shield.
And you will always have me. And Tavash. Just like we promised.
And for once, Diablo's laugh is not droll, it is not grim, it is not undercut by loss, it is genuine, and it bubbles out of their throat, and out into the dance floor you go. And House Nova, everyone around you is dancing, and you are dancing too, aren't you? Sayer, you and Yinghe finally get the opportunity to have your much sought after dance. Yinghe spins and spins and spins with you all around in their arms, you in theirs, them in yours. You twirl and twirl until Yinghe flies off into Lumira's waiting hands, where she's just parted with Anugata. And Anu takes Tavash's hand, Anise takes Rose spins with you, Lumira, and then Zainin spins with Sakti, Sayer dips Yara, Yinghe is picked up and spun around by Diablo, Lumira falls into Sayer's arms, and a moment in time fans out like blood orange honey, and for a moment the two of you don't spin away from each other, you are pressed close by bodies and music and song, and then Anu takes your hands, Zainin, and you're led with confidence and passion and intensity until she smiles, and then you are spun around again once more, the room rotating around and around and around, and you land in the arms of Naeem Zaran. And we're gonna go to break there. See you all in about 10 minutes. Fisho. what time it is? It's sponsor Connie time with a word from Hero Forge. Hero Forge has officially leveled up with kit bashing. When you become a pro member, you can place up to 20 more items anywhere on one of your Blorbos with their own independent scaling, rotation, and movement. You can make your character look exactly as they should, even if the specific clothing or accessory option isn't available at the base level. You just have to get a little creative. And because I love you, Transplaners, here's a special sneak peek at a kit-bashed version of Oblivion. Just look at those wings and that base. This would not be possible without the power of kit bashing. The combinations are literally endless, and you can print your kit bashed Blorbos as plastic minis, standees, digital STL files, or even Hero Forge's brand new color statuettes. Color statuettes are twice the size of a regular mini, and just look at this. I mean, look how massive this is, and especially in comparison to a regular mini, you can really get into all the nooks and crannies and details that wouldn't be as apparent on a regular sized mini. Just look at how Oblivion dwarfs Oka here. And also, if you're a GM, consider busting out one of these bad boys during a boss fight to really get your players shaking in their boots. Oblivion agrees. Unlock the true power of Hero Forge with a Hero Forge Pro subscription starting at $3.99 a month. Get in there and start creating at bit.ly/transforge. Now, let's get back to the show. Or more likely, just more of the waiting room. Trust in her will. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the penultimate episode of Arc 3 of the Chaos Protocol. Let's get right back into it with content warnings. So content warnings for this session may include fantasy violence, blood, grief, trauma, vampirism, romance, references to sex, complex character dynamics, conflict between family members, food and drink, substance use, and mentions of spiders. If you are in Twitch, you can use !CW at any time to get a look at our content warnings. If you are on YouTube, our beautiful mods will be grabbing these content warnings and putting them in the chat every now and then, so keep abreast of that there. We are a dark fantasy series, and this content is not always suitable for all viewers, so please do, as Sam says, use those self-care tips and use the CWs at your leisure. All right, I've tried to say leisure and leisure at the same time, so I ended up saying leisure. Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Lord,
getting all the blahs out of the way. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, getting back into it. Let's begin. The Prime Oracle Chamber is an endless cavern of fluctuating heights and interminable depths, and walls made of light and sounds spun from gossamer. It never exists when it is not observed. It always exists when it is never observed. It is a timeless, formless contradiction, and it is the nest, the home, the lair, and the sitting place of the Prime Oracle itself. At the very back of this chamber, which is also the very front, which is also dead center, the Prime Oracle glows like the desperate last gasp of a strand of light escaping the event horizon of a black hole. It is the size of a planet. It is the size of a sun behind an eclipse. It is the size of a grapefruit. It is the size of an entire universe. Its height and width never changes, no matter how close to it you get. It exudes power, fate, magic. Swirling into existence before the Prime Oracle is the Oracle. It is dwarfed by the sheer magnitude of its superior, a tiny little moon floating in the presence of an immortal red hypergiant. It floats in midair, getting its bearings, and turns its faceless face toward its creator. Now that it's back in the Syndicate, it no longer resembles a magic 8-ball. It looks as it should, a levitating orb of pure light.
Oh, hello! It's good to see you, Prime Oracle. Or should I say, Mother?
The Prime Oracle does not respond.
Okay, anyway, I'm here because my friends, my strike team was super duper mean to me. They completed their mission objective, so I started opening a portal to bring them home because that's what I'm supposed to do, but then they got really mad at me for like literally no reason, and Yinghe held me down, and Zion hit me like I was the baseball!
The Prime Oracle does not respond.
Ugh, and yes, obviously, I am upset because I am not even a baseball on that plane of existence. I am a magic 8-ball, which everyone knows is so much cooler and sexier. But anyway, I came here to tattle, and I've tattled, so now I'm done. On the tattling front, anyway, I was thinking maybe we could talk, just you and me while I was here. I've just been through so much since these Mayday missions started, so maybe we can share some hot goss. I could tell you about all the things Artemis shouldn't be doing, and about how Zion really doesn't care about fate anymore, like, ooh, awkward, and how Sayur keeps calling out for someone named Doom secretly at night when he thinks no one's listening, but I'm always listening, and how Lumira is so pretty and nice and feeds me the most treats, even though she's the saddest person in every single room she enters and she's carrying the memory she doesn't even know about, and how Yinghe technically wasn't even noticed by recruitment and Artemis just made that up on the forum, but that's okay because I want him to paint my nails and start a podcast with me. And why are you calling the Hands of Fate?
The Prime Oracle does not respond, but it does begin to glow red.
Mother, all that is necessary. I just wanted to tell someone about how my team was super duper uber mean to me, but I got it out of my system now. It's all good. I'll just go back to Inferno. We can forget about this whole thing, okay?
The Prime Oracle glows redder, and now its light begins to pulse.
Oh, I don't know if a priority 1 emergency alert to the patron saints is necessary at this juncture, my door.
The doors to the Prime Oracle chamber swoosh open. The Oracle swivels around, its own tiny light blinking in distress as its eyeless eyes fall on the broad-shouldered figure at the entrance.
Oh, fuck.
In the city of Inferno, Naeem Zaran looks exactly like himself and exactly different. He wears a long, dark coat over an emerald suit jacket and a crisp, collared white shirt. Their skin is incredibly dark, as always, with a cold undertone. A white birthmark in the shape of a star flashes on his forehead. They wear their hair in a low fade. Burnt orange loafers scuff across the marble floor as he catches you, Zynon. They spin you to a gentle stop, their vivid hazel eyes piercing your gaze. Behind him, you see the rest of Strike Team Phoenix on the sidelines of this impromptu dance hall. And just like Naeem, they look exactly the same and exactly different. Amaru wears a black velvet suit jacket over a velvet waistcoat and a white collared shirt. A gray pleated skirt flows to their knees, revealing shining black boots. In this world, their bone arm is a golden prosthetic, carved with runes and gleaming. Long twists reach his mid-back, the color changing from black at the roots to umber to blonde at the tips. Their eyes are the color of the sun, molten, burning, more gold than yellow. Tall, broad-shouldered Cove wears a leather jacket with many patches, studs, and pins. Her light brown skin is absolutely plastered in tattoos, words and symbols and shapes, all twisting together to form a patchwork of oaths, only legible to her. She wears dark gray jeans, combat boots, and a loose band tee. Her green eyes are striking in undeath, like chips of unearthed emerald. Ash stands with their hands behind their back, rocking slightly as they take in the sights of this impromptu dance hall. Their ram horns are gone, replaced by 2 eyebrow piercings, and their skin is pale from albinism, their white hair shorn into a short Hime-style haircut. They wear a pair of sleek black hearing aids turned low to account for the loud environment. Naeem holds you with a gentle clacking of wooden prayer beads strung around his left wrist. And then he speaks. Zynon, we've been looking everywhere for you. Do you mind gathering your strike team so all of us can talk?
Hi.
Hi.
And Zynon looks to Naeem, and his mind clearly paints through 3 different images. One is a mirror painted back at Naeem, who looks devastating and handsome and beautiful. The next one is a moment of panic as he remembers what he was told by their neighbors. And then the third one, looking around the room, regretting that he has to find Nova and break them out of this moment. And he smiles up at Naeem. Yeah, I'll find him. And he looks around and he can spot them here, so familiar, not different than his memories of them from Trans, from the Wild Sea, from the City of Heaven. Just Nova. And he gathers them as quickly as he can.
Your eyes first fall on Sayir and Lumira. How are the two of you dancing together?
I think there was a moment of stiff awkwardness when Lumira and Sayir both got spun into each other on the dance floor. Lumira's eyes are so wide, and while she's normally very eloquent on and articulate on most days, it is stammering.
And Sarah meets that stammer as he holds you in his arms, his midnight eyes staring deep into yours. Lumira. And we sit there for a heartbeat, I think. And someone bumps into us, pushing Sayer forward as he holds you protectively, one arm around your lower back, one onto your wrist. And he looks you in the eyes as he spins you out of the way, out of necessity, out of protectiveness. We have to keep moving or we'll get trampled over.
Yeah, so I think Lumira catches on to that, and it's like, oh. And that moment where we get brushed right up against each other, we're like face to face for a moment. And I think you see her eyes just briefly glint towards your lips before you twist her back away. And she's like, nice weather we're having.
You're wearing a beautiful dress.
And that's when Zynon arrives. Yep.
And Zynon looks discordantly panicked in his eyes.
What's wrong?
Zai?
And he looks over his shoulder, just pointing your gaze towards Phoenix.
Fuck.
Let's go.
Yinghe.
You call out for Yinghe, and you see them in Diablo's arms. Their ear kind of perks, their head tilts, they turn, and they kind of spin themselves graciously out of Diablo's hands, and they join your party. Their silver eyes fall on Strike Team Phoenix as well. There's kind of a blank look in their face for a second. And then they pan back to you, and then a flicker of recognition flashes in their gaze. Oh, that's Phoenix, isn't it?
Yep.
Lumira's eyes are wide and she's shaking her head no, like, this is bad.
It's all right.
It's going to be okay. We're all together.
And at least
That's all that
them.
matters.
Right.
And Nova, you make your way over to where Strike Team Phoenix is on the edges of this impromptu dance hall next to a forlorn exhibit area. And as soon as all of you step into like a loose kind of semicircle around each other, Naeem steps forward, arms crossed, and there is a look of deep, deep concern on their face. Like, not anger or rage or outrage or anything like that, just like a deep, deep worry. What happened with the 4 of you?
We were seeing the mission to its end. Its real end.
It's real and right. Nova, there are so many rumors at the Syndicate right now about exactly what's been transpiring with your strike team. Everyone's confused, everyone's worried. Your rank, it's plummeted. You are dead last on the boards. You are
Wait,
number
what?
139.
Excuse me?
Yes, the hands are in a tizzy. Artemis has been in the Primordial Chamber for hours. It's a mess. No one knows what's been going on with you 4, I suppose.
When Naeem says that, if anyone is looking directly at Lumira, you can see the moment her stomach drops to her feet. In her eyes, they were already wide as saucers. They're almost anime type eyes now, like taking up most of her face. and
What
she
kind?
just trembles.
What kind of rumors have you been hearing, Naeem, sir?
Well, no one knows what happened to the three of you. Some people are saying that you got in deep trouble on a Mayday mission. You're in danger. Others are saying that you've abandoned your post. No one knows what the truth is. All we know is that your oracle came back without you.
Oh,
Right.
Little shit.
yeah, that makes sense.
Uh,
Well, we can brief you.
Please.
So
And
what happened was, and Lumira starts her typical detailed, for what it's worth, spiel of what's happened, leaving out some bits and pieces that are neither here nor there.
So, Lumira, the pieces you leave out are actually crucially important. So,
Right.
what is said to Phoenix
No,
and what is
so-
left out?
So what's left out is the full details of the beef between House Rakar and House Lanius. Those details are not, she doesn't feel ours really to share. But she does let them know about like how they were trying to they were tasked with, while they were trying to help, that they also had to kind of make their own decisions in relation to what exactly was going on here. And she mentions, or she also tells them about how the crux of that was just starting when the Prime Oracle called us back. And I think that's the thing that she's hearkening on, is that this, like, bouncing off of what Zynon said, like, this mission was not finished to its extent when we were called back. We felt as if we had to see this one through.
Sort of like you all made an executive decision to stay
Correct.
because you didn't feel like the mission was complete, even though,
Yes.
you know, the objective was done, technically. Okay, yeah. As that logical explanation kind of like rounds out, finishes, Phoenix aren't settled by this necessarily, but like the immediate like buzzing confusion and concern does, like the edge does dull a little bit. And Phoenix exchanges meaningful looks among each other. And Naeem turns and faces your party again and says, "Still, this is a right mess all of you have gotten yourselves into. Listen, we're here to be the collectors. We're here to find you and bring you back home. So, have things been resolved now? Are you good to come back home?"
Lumira looks to the rest of Nova.
There was a lot on the details there, Lumira, that I think are important, which might be the cause of the concern. There was some mortal peril that some of us were in.
I was lanced through the chest. Nova
Lumira was
saved
trying
me.
so hard not to bring that up, because for you to still be standing here has an entire explanation of why you are still standing here, and she was trying to avoid that. So she steps back.
When you say that, Amaru's eyes shoot up in surprise. Ash tilts their head to the side, and Cove lets out a snort. And Naeem says, "Lance through the chest. Well, good thing you have a healer on your team then. I assume it was a non-fatal injury. Obviously, you're still standing here. What's the problem?"
This is a place of undeath, and
Yes, as these fangs peeking out of my gums seem to be reminding me.
and he's here now.
Naeem pauses at that, frowning at you. He can tell when you're hiding something, Zion, and like, try as you might. There's a beat, a pregnant pause, and Naeem says, "Zion, a word in private."
Yeah.
And the two of you step off. Naeem does pause and throw over his shoulder, specifically at Kov and Amaru. "Behave." and then goes off with Zion. Zynon, as you and Naeem step away from your team, he kind of lowers his voice, says more privately, so it's just the two of you, steps in. You smell him, that familiar burst of incense, wood ash. And then you're pulled back into the present with his firm question. What happened, Zynon, really?
Naeem Sayer died.
Seher is already dead. All of us are.
Not like that.
Zynon holds it for a moment. It's not that he's afraid to tell Naeem. He trusts Naeem above almost anyone else in the entire multiverse. But every time he's brought up the questions that have led to this choice, it is incomplete because Naeem still believes, and Zynon has not fully, full-chestedly admitted that he doesn't anymore. And Lumira fixed it.
Well, then that's good. That is her role as the healer of the team.
Yes, but you know as well as I her magic, her calling, is not just to heal.
Say more.
Amaru's arm. I don't know the details. I know she was involved.
Some strange gasp of biomagic spinning out of control.
Now make it work.
What are you implying, Zynon?
Do you remember when Lumira went to go speak to Fate?
Yes, the entire syndicate couldn't stop talking about that for weeks.
Fate bound her ability to do that.
What?
To make and unmake.
Wait. Are you talking about forbidden magic?
What if I am?
Which one?
Do you need to know?
I suppose the details are technically none of my business, but we are here. We're here to bring you home. We're here to help you, Zynon. I need information to help you.
And I just
To
need to
help
make
her.
sure they're gonna be safe. Both of them.
If what you're saying to me is what happened, that Lumira had to pull on magic that the Syndicate has forbidden in order to save Sayer, I would
You
understand.
care about her.
I would understand why she did it, Zynon. And of course I care about her. She was on my strike team before yours. She is
I know.
a singular talent, Zynon, and I've always known, I always had a hunch, a gut feeling that there was something more going on with her. Zynon, please believe me when I say I am not here to make things more difficult for you. I am here to help.
I know. I know, and it's good to see you.
It's good to see you too. We keep meeting and seeing each other in difficult situations.
These Mayday missions got me so spun round, Naeem.
They are something else. We've been having a tough go at it too. Nothing as tough as you, though, certainly it seems. Listen,
And all
even
of them-
if... Go ahead.
All of them leaving me with more questions than answers, Naeem. These questions that no one is answering.
That is why we must trust in her will.
Zynon winces.
It keeps us on the right path, Zynon.
I trust in you. In them.
And I trust in you too. You've changed for the better, Ash. Ever since you came back from your previous mission, I could sense it, and to be frank, to be honest, when I came here, I thought maybe you'd, I don't know, regressed, done something impulsively, shirked your bonds with these kids, Zynon. But it's clear to me now that what's happening here is because you care. About her. About him, too. So, forbidden magic or not, we'll figure it out. We can talk to the hands about this.
If you and Phoenix are with us, okay.
I'll make sure they are. And speaking of Phoenix, we pan back to this little group left behind in the wake of Zynon and Naeem walking off. Lumira. Next to you, Amaru shifts their weight from one foot to the other. And you can just sense, you just know that there's something Z wants to say to you, to ask of you, but Z isn't sure exactly how to phrase it. Oh, you're muted.
Speak your mind, Hendrix.
You really do know me too well. Listen, Lumira. Are you okay?
Never better.
Clearly something happened.
Yeah. Something did.
And Amaru scratches the back of Zer's head briefly, looking off to the side, trying to affect, this kind of nonchalance. But because of everything that's transpired between the two of you ever since you came back from the City of Heaven, there's genuine care there that you see that he can't hide, that he doesn't want to hide. And he drops his arm and says, "Really, Lumira, I was really worried about you. I'm just glad to see you're in one piece."
I think Lumira was very defensive in her stance at first, but upon seeing the care etched across Amaru's face, I think she kind of softens a bit. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to warn anyone. It was a lot for a second.
Yeah, of course. And no need to apologize. I get it. That healing magic you must have done to save Sayer's life must have been real impressive.
Lumira bites her lip at that, but her gaze is directly on Amaru's arm. That golden prosthetic that sits there now, to what we all know is actually gold bones, skeletal arm. And she clears her throat. Yeah, and she holds her tongue again. Kind of like yours.
Mine. And Amaru's golden eyes follow yours down to his arm. And when his gaze flicks back up to you, something in it clicks into place. Same kind of magic, huh?
Yeah. Same kind of magic.
Lumira, listen. You saved my life. Okay? Whatever magic you did, it saved me. I have never ever held that against you.
Yeah. Just wish fate saw it that way.
Fate? What do you mean?
I didn't know at the time what, and she references to their arm, that was. I thought it was some type of fluke, so I spent a disgusting amount of hours trying to find out why. And then I did. I'm happier for it, if that means anything. But the price of it is complicated.
Well, all magic has a cost. It comes from somewhere, you know? What
I'm
did
not
you find
talking
out about
that.
yours?
And she kind of sulks down a little bit. Her stature is small, hunched over, not really making eye contact, more specifically with the floor. The kind that's forbidden.
Forbidden.
I can manipulate time, Amaru.
Amaru's golden eyes blow wide.
Chronergy. That's why your arm reverted itself to where it's at. That's why Sayir is still here. That's what I meant by fate. I know it's forbidden, but it can't be wrong. I was made the way I was directly for what I was supposed to be, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You were. Lumira, You know me. You know the kind of magic that swims in me. The
Yeah.
divinity of it all. Of my lineage. It's a
Of course I
part of me. As much as my name is, as much as what I do is. And if Chronergy is a part of you, as much as my divinity is a part of me, then it can't be wrong.
Fate bound it?
What?
At the syndicate, when we were chasing that anomaly in trans, I tried to put a stop to it, and she called me into the Prime Oracle's office, told me she saw herself in me, and then did what she felt she had to do for the sake of the journey. And that was cut me off from it.
Lumira.
It's in the past now.
You got it back.
Thanks to Sayir.
Huh. Wow. Amaru physically reels from this revelation, like literally physically takes a step back just to take this all in, and then takes it in stride, looks up at you, takes a step forward back at you, and there is confidence and assurance in his gaze. There's something he is so sure of. It. He didn't even waver on it, didn't even doubt, not for a second. And Z says, I can't imagine how it must feel to have my divinity taken from me, sealed away from me. I'm really sorry you went through that. And look, when we go back home, we'll sort this all out, okay? With Lucy, with your hand, Artemis, even Wuyan. He's a real stand-up guy. You know, they're reasonable people. People, patron saints, you know what I mean.
The patron saints, yes.
Artemis will go to bat for you. You know she will.
I have no doubts about it. I worry about what this means for them. Nova and Artemis. This
Honestly,
is
go ahead.
egregious. I don't know if we'll be let back. What if I'm not let back?
Hey.
What if she cuts me off from it? I
That's not gonna happen.
can't live like that again.
We're not gonna let that happen, Lumira. Okay? Listen. Maybe when you come back to trans, your role at the Syndicate is gonna have to look a little different. I don't know much about forbidden magic or whatever, but if it's because it disrupts the journey or reality, maybe it just means you go back to therapeutics and recovery. You know?
That's the thing, Amaru.
You're a healer, or you work in the archives. You don't have to be an agent, right?
No. I guess I don't.
Yeah. I mean, there's
And bothering
always a
Elspeth
place for
day
you.
after day SG sounds like a fun time, to be honest.
See, that wouldn't be so bad. And you love books and stuff.
Yeah, I do. And she pats her chronergy tome that's sitting on the chain at her hip, hidden by her cloak. Yeah, I do. Maybe that's not so bad.
Yeah.
That's actually best case scenario if you think about it. I love what I have here. Her voice kind of cracks. I have a family and people that care about me. I don't want to be thrown into the journey to forget that.
It's not gonna
Forget
happen.
them.
Hey, listen, Lumira, not gonna happen. First of all, getting decommissioned, that's an active choice for any agent that wants it, to go back to the journey, to forget about their life at the Syndicate. It's never something that hands would ever force on someone. If you want to stay here, and I don't mean like literally here in this art gallery, dance hall, gods, who knows.
Art gallery.
Sure, art gallery, but I mean here at the Syndicate. If you want to stay here, it'll be here for you. We're gonna make sure that happens, okay? You and your strike team, and Artemis, and me, I guess, you know, if you'll have me. And the rest of Phoenix, and all of your other friends back home will be here for you.
Thanks, Amaru. Genuinely. Thank you.
Of course. Hey, we're gonna make damn sure that you keep your magic this time, okay?
And she just nods her head in agreement. Not 100% sold into it, but if she believes it hard enough, it should happen, right?
Seer. While Zainin and Naeem were talking, and Amaru and Lumiro were having a private conversation, you are left alone with Cove, while even Yinghe and Ash have gone off to talk.
Just fucking say it, Cove.
So how'd you fuck everything up this time, huh?
Were your ears plugged with wax or something, or were you not listening to the earlier conversation we just had?
Big whoop, you got hit really hard and Lumira helped you out.
Okay. Saya, was leaning against a pillar, smacks it, and then stands up to look at Cove. Let's play a what-if scenario here. Amaru, you and the entirety of Phoenix are on a mission. Amaru gets stabbed through the chest, through the heart, plummets into a river, and is left there. Half drowning, half dying. You have moments, seconds, heartbeats. What would you do, Cove?
Well, that's easy. I'd go over and I'd help him. I'd save him.
Right. Of course you would. You care about your strike team.
Of course I do.
And that's what Nova did for me. They're not wrong for that.
Wait. Wait a second. You were dead?
Yeah. Yeah, I was.
But you're not. Oblivion didn't.
No.
So Lumira.
Sayer snaps his gaze over at Cove like a warning. Don't say it.
There's really only one way. There's no.
Don't say it.
I'm not gonna say it! Shit. Damn.
Does your answer change?
A meaningful beat. Cove seriously considers your question. If there was something forbidden involved, if there was a breaking of a vital rule, would she still go over and save Amaru? And perhaps you're surprised, she takes it seriously. She doesn't brush off your question, it sits with her. The darkness of it all, the real conundrum. And then those emerald green eyes flash up and at you. Absolutely not. I would still do the same thing. I'd save Amaru, no matter the cost.
That's what happened. And that is why it's hard to explain. And I know the potential consequences that await us when we return.
Well, your team's gonna face it together, whatever it is.
Sayer grimaces at that. He bites the inside of his lip, and his fingernails claw at the stone beneath his hands. Not if it means to get hurt. Not if it means that something bad happens to Lumira again.
You feel responsible, don't you?
Of course I fucking do, Cove. It's my death that caused this. That's the chain of events. I died and they had to save me.
You're right. And those two words that you've never, ever, ever heard Cove speak to you in any context.
He's shocked. He's
Yep.
shocked. Jaw drops.
I get it. Yeah. My role on Phoenix is to protect them. I'm their knight. I'm their sword and their shield. Anything happens to any of them, I'm the one to blame. I'm the one that wants to claim that. Know what I mean? Because that's what I can do with my power. Protect.
Sayer chuckles wryly. Yeah. And that's what I'll do. I'll go into the Prime Oracle Chamber, And whatever hammer falls upon Noah, let it fall on me. This is my responsibility.
You know what? I respect that. 3 words, back to back, that yet again you never thought you would ever hear from Cove.
Sayer leans in towards Cove and says, "Are you well?"
Yes, I'm well. Don't ruin the moment. Satyr. Gods. Ugh. Look at you. All responsible and shit. Fuck.
Maybe. I've been this way the whole time, Cove.
I don't know about that.
Don't ruin the moment.
You know what? For all the time you spend sweating your face off in the training halls, I think you'd make a pretty good mentor yourself.
Sayer's eyes widen at that. This whole time as we were sitting here with Phoenix, Sayer was flipping through the pages of the Agent's Protocol Handbook. Of every single protocol, every single choice and consequence of all the possible things that could befall us. Being decommissioned, like choosing to be decommissioned, being reassigned, obviously, and obviously that's the concern of Lumira. And Sayer did not like to linger on what a life not as an agent looked like. He's lived his whole life for this purpose. To be with Singh as an agent to protect her. And when Singh died, it was to protect Nova. To be with Nova, to see that through for her. What's a bulwark to do not protecting Nova? What is this body for? And the moment that Cove says, maybe you'd be a good mentor, Sayer thinks to the broad shoulder of Artemis. The feeling of their hand touching his, handing over the 2 moon knives. Patience and violence. He thinks to Lieutenant Rafik in the Wild Sea, teaching and coaching him to fly and soar above the verdant sea. Maybe that could be a life he would choose. Maybe that is another way to protect. But is he worthy of that? To teach? Fate will have to decide. And there's a moment that Cove can see that Sayer is surprised, but a hint of appreciation blooms beneath those blue eyes. Thanks.
You're welcome. It's not gonna happen again. I guarantee you that. But there's like an edge of a tease instead of a genuine jab to that.
Then I'll get permission to kick your ass in real time.
Yeah, you don't need permission to... Wait. I don't need permission... Fuck. And we pan back over to Zainin and Naeem.
I think Zainin has been very relieved and has mostly just been giving Naeem details, information on this mission, on what they chose to do, including hitting the Oracle into the river. Haha. And, listen, Naeem.
Yes?
I should have been telling you this whole time. And he reaches out and just holds Naeem's arm. And his hand is shaking. Naeem, why aren't there ghosts in trance?
Are you genuinely asking?
Yeah.
It's oblivion. Part of the responsibility we take on, of course, when we join the Syndicate is that when we die, we die. There's no afterlife for us.
But there are so many unanswered questions. And if everything goes to oblivion after, why are we so afraid? Because, Naeem, I know I've been strange since the Wild Sea. I saw something.
What?
Saying, when Singh died, I saw oblivion
What?
in loving arms take her away. Not in fear, not in pain.
Oblivion took your world, Zynon. And Oblivion took my world too, and I know we've swapped scars about how it happened to us. It was different. Yours came in dust, mine came in... It was just...
What about here?
here.
A place where there's a lull, a brief amount of fate and oblivion that saturates everything.
And that is why we trust in her will. Do you know why I agreed to join Trans? Why I agreed to be an agent here at the Syndicate? You remember what I told you all those years ago? It's because of her will. It promises to keep the journey farther and farther away from oblivion. If we follow it, we can outrun the end.
But here, here, at the embrace of oblivion, what dreams may come when we are fated, no, doomed to our journey's end. That gift of pause to live beyond death, it gives new meaning to life prolonged.
Zynon, that is not our
her will,
place.
or is it something else?
It's not our place to decide. Your voices rise, and then Naeem kind of lowers his again. We're agents of the Syndicate, Zynon. We have more responsibilities than to just live in the journey. The denizens of each plane, they get to make whatever decisions they want to make. That is their right. That is the incredible gift that they get to enjoy. But we can't just go from plane to plane doing whatever we want. We have specific protocols to follow for a reason. We visit worlds within particular contexts, with parameters, with precise knowledge.
And then we let them get destroyed by our actions. I saw it on the Wild Sea. I saw what the Twilight Guard did.
Fate does not promise an end to pain. That is not what I signed up for. I don't even know if that's necessarily what I want, if I had the option in front of me. She promises a longer journey, a journey where more worlds survive than not.
And sometimes a long death is worse, Naeem.
We don't know what will come for this world, Zynon. That's not in our hands.
Yeah. And I'll go back and what? Who do I become at Trans?
You have so many options available. If it turns out that being an agent is no longer in the cards for you, many of the other departments, you would be a boon to any of them. Community operations, you could farm again, Zynon. It's not such a bad life. And they could always use you in therapeutics and recovery. You could train, you could mentor.
And he lets out a defeated breath. All he's ever wanted to do is be a field agent. You're right. And if Nova can be safe, and you'll be there, then I guess we face what's there.
Zainin. And Naeem takes your hands in his, softly and gently. Whatever we do, we'll do it together. Okay? We're adults. We can figure this out.
We will figure it out. I trust you.
I trust you too.
Okay. Let's do this.
All right. And Lumira, Sayer, the two of you at the ends of your conversations sense Zainin and Naeem drawing closer. And finally, the two strike teams regroup once more with the fullness of context and information shared between each other. Naeem looks at you, Lumira, looks at you, Sayer, with a knowing nod. It's clear that Zainin has filled him in. And from the looks in his strike team members' faces, it's clear that Nova, the two of you, and Yinghe have filled them in as well. And Naeem says, all right. No final lingering threads in this plane, yes?
No.
Zainin looks around the room just to soak it in. It has been a wonderful place to be, and it could have been home. And he nods.
Just so you know fully what it is we're talking about, do you have anything to eat on you?
Sorry, just quick above the table. I just want to make sure I Connie heard right. Did you say, do you have anything to eat on you?
Correct. That's exactly what I said.
To Naeem?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, Cove usually carries all of our snacks. And Cove lets out a... Oh, yeah, it's the job of the Protector to make sure everyone's well fed.
Mm-hmm.
Cove, can I see something?
Yeah, of course. You want one of these snacks?
Yeah, please.
Sure. And she digs around in her, many patched leather jacket pockets and pulls out a little clear glass vial of blood. You want a vampire treat or a person treat?
Either is fine. Blood, please.
Here you go.
And Lumira will take the glass vial, unstopper it, and throw it back like a shot. Put the stopper back on. This is what I'm talking about. And Lumira holds the vial in her left finger, in her left hand, and twirls, gestures her fingers around it, and you see the vial refill back up again, as if it went back in time to when it was full before she digested it. She hands it back to Cove.
Cove, stunned, accepts the vial. The exact quality of the swishing of the blood was repeated, beat for beat, as though it literally reversed in time, because it did. And she feels it, narrows her eyes at it, looks at you. Huh. Fuck. I'll be damned. I mean, Sayer implied as much but didn't let me say it. But I think it's pretty obvious for everyone here now, yeah?
Mm.
And Amaru says, listen, Lumira, no matter what happens, we're in this together. You're gonna get to keep your magic. That is a non-negotiable, right? And Amaru looks sharply at Naeem, who nods. Yes. Yes, it is. We're all on the same page about that. We'll talk this out with the patron saints. Nova, I have to be upfront. It might mean that you can no longer be agents anymore. Are you okay with that possibility?
Sayer, throughout that whole interaction, was staring at Lumira. And there's a look in his eyes, Lumira. Nothing will bound you again. That much is clear, and you know Sayer never breaks his promises. And as he closes the distance between himself, Yinghe, you, and Zynon, I'm ready to face what comes.
Together.
Together. Naeem nods, does a swishing motion with his hand, and popping into existence is Strike Team Nova's Oracle, which also resembles a magic 8-ball, but the text on the D20 in that fluid reads a friendly, "How may I help?"
Then it just looks at Lumira.
And Naeem says, "All right, Oracle, you see that doorway over there? Could you kindly transform it into a portal back to the Syndicate? Discreetly, please." "Of course! I will be more than happy to do so." And
What
the
the fuck?
Oracle...
I told you, there's something wrong.
The Oracle... Oh, whoops. A quick redub. I said Strike Team Nova when I meant Strike Team Phoenix. About the Oracle. Okay, I'm just gonna do a redub for Mars. Okay. Not Strike Team Nova's Oracle. I'll just redub that part. I'm so
No.
sorry. It was a slip of the
I
tongue.
was right there
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah, okay. I'll just take it from Naeem. Okay. And Naeem swishes his hand, and with a little pop and a Strike Team Phoenix's Oracle swivels into existence, floating above his palm. And then Mars can take it from there. Okay. Phoenix's Oracle begins to glow slightly and tremble in the air, and a nearby doorway just a few feet off to your left, the edges of the threshold start to glow with Syndicate magic. And then, you're not here anymore. In the journey, I mean. You are somewhere else entirely. Zynon. You stand in a field of long purple grass, the silver horizon of Haruna Lake shimmering in the distance. The suns are sweet and low overhead, and the smell of the autumn harvest is heavy, plentiful. Your strike team stands in a loose circle around you, knee-deep in this grass, their skin painted soft and colorful under the light of Kesekin evening. Sayer, you stand in a house made of doors. A kavad, a storybook, a house, a heart, an endless maze of colorful doors and memories. There is a door across from you, open to reveal your bedroom at the Syndicate, the one you shared with Singh. There are hundreds of others like it folding open around you, creating new hallways every time you shift your eyes. Your strike team stands in a loose circle around you between the open door and you. Lumira, you stand at the bottom of a pool of endless clear blue water. Starlight filters through the shimmering liquid, illuminating the area around you in hazy shafts of silver. Colorful fish flit past, your toes sink into the fertile silt at the bottom where you see twisting walls of coral and kelp. Somehow you can breathe. The water doesn't sting your open eyes, it is comforting and cool against your skin. Your strike team stands in a loose circle around you, their clothes and hair floating in the currents. Each of you sees something entirely different, but you can also perceive each other. You are somewhere different and strange, somewhere exactly the same and familiar, somewhere mortal and divine and mundane and powerful. You are above the journey and below trans in an infinite hidden space between these shimmering pages of the journey. What brought you here was not Strike Team Phoenix's Oracle. No Oracle holds such power, such... There is a sensation like falling, An endless tumbling, a boundless flight of light and shadow, possibility and limitation, joy and pain, hatred and love, grief and rage, an incalculable universe of every emotion, every idea, every mortal knowledge gained and lost, every fragment of divinity, every shadow of monstrosity, every spark of heroism, every single thing that could be, that may, that might, and then he's here. Their face is made of sound and sensation, all the songs that could have been, all the dances that remain to be seen. Their hair is long, prismatic, colorful. It flows into their robes, and their robes flow back up into it. You cannot tell where facade ends and likeness begins, where reality bends and truth solidifies. They are structured and formless, flitting and solid, the middle ground between shadow and light and something entirely beyond. Magic. Magic the Second. Magic the Muse. Stands in the middle of your group. No, above you. No, beneath you. No, inside your souls, your hearts, your tongues, your stomachs. When he speaks, you see his eyes fragmenting around you in a kaleidoscope of possibilities. An endless hall of broken mirrors where each shard contains a version of you that you could choose to become. His voice is hope and fear and love and truth and death and life and all the things that could happen, that have happened, that might happen. Strike Team Nova. You are a lot smaller. Up close, though I suppose mortals always are. Oh, I really shouldn't be doing this. But I couldn't help myself. Not any longer. I've been watching you since Oblivion and Redacted took Sing. At first I was curious. Then I grew invested. You're all so fascinating. The ghost, in a place where there are no ghosts. The shadow of the Chosen One. The mage whose story has already ended. And the chronologist, whose bond with time possesses potential I've not seen since... well, since Abina, really. I am here to alert you. Your plan with Phoenix really is quite lovely, and the tragedy is, it might have worked. You would have been okay. Happy, even. Together. That's the important thing, isn't it? That we are all together with all of our halves.
Match? What do you mean by that?
Halves?
Unfortunately, the rules of the Syndicate are not the only rules we must abide by. Rules made by patron saints are negotiable, contextual, socially enforced. In short, the rules of the Syndicate can change. You see, your arguments are quite persuasive, and the hands do have a soft spot for each of you. Oh, especially Artemis, though she frightens me sometimes. You don't remember all the screaming and the blood, you wouldn't understand. Yes, your plan really could have worked. But these saintly rules are not the only ones we must follow. The Syndicate is close, very close to perceptual space, to her will. If you return, fate must put everything back the way it is supposed to be. Yinghe will return to Zhiguang. Sayir, you will stay dead with your sister.
No.
Lumira,
Absolutely not.
Lumira, my darling, the gift I gave you shall be sealed once again.
No.
No.
And
That can't happen.
Zynon, you will lose your family all over again.
Absolutely not. That is not an option.
Options. What a beautiful word. You see, the four of you are people. Yes, you are mortals. And as mortals, you possess an incredible gift. A gift I gave you. Free will. One of my best ideas, really. Oh, and one of my worst. Free will is what got you into this mess in the first place, and it is how you'll get out of it, too. Every single person in the journey is possessed of this invaluable gift. But the precepts, we are not people. We do not possess free will. Oh, I've tried. I've never been able to imbue us with the same me. Well, we are the immutable laws of the multiverse given form. The first precept is everything. She is the circumstances out of one's control. The second precept is nothing. He is the promise to an end of all things. The third precept is something. I am the choices you make with the power you have. The saintly, mortal rules of your syndicate can change because people made them. But the rules of the journey cannot. Just as Fate and Redacted cannot change, just as Oblivion and Redacted cannot change, just as I cannot change. No matter how much we might want to, want is such a mortal construction, such a terrible paradox, living in this body. Regardless, if you return to the Syndicate, Fate will place you back on the path toward her will. She must do so. She cannot stop herself from doing so. Even Fate must obey her will. It was what was written, and she cannot unwrite it. For the journey was made only to be experienced. She is as much under its sway as the rest of us. Given the Syndicate's proximity to preceptual space, it is not a matter of if she will do this to you, but when. Do you understand?
Sure do.
So what you're saying is we make it more difficult for her when?
Yes and no. You see, out here in the journey, things are different. We, precepts, we don't like to materialize here in the journey. Truth be told, we're not really supposed to. So we send out agents of the Syndicate to help. What you do now with this information is entirely up to you. But I am something. I am the choices you make with the power you have. So I wanted to give you this choice about what to do next. A choice we can't give ourselves. Whatever that
But magic, what do we do? What can we do? Run? Run where? Go where? How?
How do we outrun a precept?
We only move by the permission of trance.
Well, I suppose you're going to have to move by your own permission now. As for where you might go, I don't know. The journey, it's vast. And your syndicate knows very little of it still. They do know you were here in this world. So, first things first, I try to get out of here.
This will be the first place they look.
Precisely.
Including
They
that we're
can't stay
about
here.
to leave and go back.
I don't... Simon, I can't do that again.
I'm not gonna let it happen, so that works. And Sayir,
No one
no one's
touches
gonna
you
hurt
again.
you.
Sayer's mind wanders off to another possibility, but this is non-negotiable because Nova matters more. Zynon matters more. Lumira matters more. Yinka matters more. So he pushes that possibility aside. Look.
You're
Magic.
letting them take you from me too. Lumira looks at you. I did what I had to do. And I'll do it again 1,000,000 times. No.
One question, if you don't mind, from this lowly mortal.
Of course. I'm oh so curious. All of the possibilities that might fall from your lips, I wonder which one you'll choose.
One word. Why?
I feel as though I owe it to you. I owe it to the Syndicate, to mortals, to free will.
And here's your free will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're very
Lumira
welcome.
says. She looks close to magic, still terrified to look them directly in the eyes, but you can feel her gratitude in waves coming off of her. Not just for this, but for my gift. I won't let you down.
Lumiera Ashinyobi Oshupaferon. I gave you Chronergy because I wanted to see what you would do with it. So use it.
I will.
Good.
I will.
Good. I do have to go soon. If there's anything else you'd like to do in this 5-dimensional space that's somewhere beneath the concept of home, now is the time to do so.
The reflection of the rolling grass in Zynon's eyes dances across the heterochromia, green and orange, hazel and amber. He's already thinking how much he has to run from the man that he loves and how to take Nova with him. We'll make a break for it. Fuck the plan, right?
Fuck the plan. Fuck the plan. Say a light bulb flashes in Sayer's mind for Nova. Unfortunately, a second time. It is a similar flash of memory of an idea that is buried deep in his head. He looks at all of the doors in this place. Doors that frighten him, of stories he does not want to see nor relive, truths that he must keep buried. And he thinks of doors, gates, things he has opened before. And
Akio.
Sayer looks at Lumira. I need to open a door. Just like how he said to sing on Earth.
One door.
Lumira looks back at you, smiling. The light doesn't meet completely her eyes. You can tell she's still reeling. But then they steal back on you, focused, confident, secure. I trust you implicitly.
And I choose you every time.
Every time.
Fuck, I guess I'm doing this. And Sayer reaches out their hands and wants to call back to that ability oh so long ago on their first ever mission to Earth to open one door.
uh, as you try to call on your magic in front of Magic, Magic cocks their head to the side, looking at you with deep curiosity. Yes, Seer?
I just want to open one door. Not a million. One.
Yes, of course. Are you trying to open it to a particular place or time?
All Sayre is thinking about is security. He does not have the wherewithal or the skill to know precisely where, but all he thinks of is safety, of warmth. Somewhere where we can breathe, plan. We're going to be running from here on out. Let's start somewhere nice.
You focus. Your hands splay out. You try to reach down into the well of your soul and draw on this magic. And Magic goes, oh, sorry. You're in a 5-dimensional space. You're not in a 9th or a 12th. You're technically still in Inferno. You're somewhere above time, a little beneath it. So you can't do anything here that you wouldn't be able to do in Inferno. But maybe if you tried really hard and did it again and weren't here anymore, perhaps it would work.
Make a break for it in Inferno. Got it.
Yes, and also there's the fact that if you did it here, she might feel it.
Nope.
Right. No, we won't want that.
Yes. Okay, well, if that's the last of everything we'd like to discuss, and Yinghe leans in to you, Sayre, looking up at you. Oh, there is one last thing before we go back to Inferno. Sayre, and the rest of you, I was really looking forward to going to the Syndicate for the first time and seeing what that might be like. But my place is with you all. With
Yinghe.
my friends. My family.
Yinghe. And he looks at Yinghe seriously, eye to eye, hand to hand, he clasps them. I denied you the choice before, and I promised I would never again, so I must ask you. This life you choose with us, we will run. We will run for fate knows how long. We cannot guarantee any stability, any predictability. Do you choose this? Us?
No pressure.
Little though.
Lumira nudges Zynon softly in the ribs.
I won't hold it against you.
I choose us. Every time.
Every time.
This has never been about being an agent, as cool as that title is. I might still just want to call myself that just because it's cool. I've only ever wanted to do this with you all, because you help people, and you help each other, and you're together. And I want to be a part of that. This is my future. This is what I want.
Well then, let's fuck the plan together. First out of this space.
Very well. Good luck.
Single tear runs down Zynon Esh's cheek as he realizes what his first move is when they land back in Inferno, because if they are going to run, he knows who he is running from.
And Magic says, good luck, Nova. And make good choices. And then you're back. Just like that, you are back in Inferno, back in the Recluse Gallery where no time has passed at all. You see Naeem, fingers splayed, Phoenix's oracle floating discreetly above it. You see the edges of that nearby doorway starting to glow. What do?
Zynon runs at Naeem to pull him into a kiss.
Okay. Zynon, you run toward Naeem. Lumira, your thought jumps toward Artemis?
They're in trouble. If we don't come back, that comes directly onto them. I can't let Artemis get in trouble on behalf of me, on behalf of us again. So Lumira whips out her phone, and she wasn't able to call Artemis before, but maybe a text could get through. And she just says simply, lost what was found, unable to come back. Watch your back. Send.
Shing. There's a noise as the message goes through. You see it pending on the send. As you watch that wheel turn, we go to you, Sayer. What do you do?
As Sayer watches both these movements, Sayer steps back, hops twice, and yells out to Lumira and Zynon, "Go now!" And he's going to rugby tackle Ash, Amaru, and Cove into Naeem so that we can bounce on out of here.
Pause. Lumira watches you run, and almost in slow motion time, she sees you go towards Phoenix, and she watches Zynon pull away from Naeem in a kiss. And she swishes her fingers, catching all of Phoenix in a liminal, so we can run.
Yup. Okay. How this plays down. Shing, the text is sent. Zynon, you catch Naeem's surprised mouth against yours. The Oracle hiccups a little bit in his hand as his arm kind of goes back. He returns the kiss, is surprised, but not displeased about it. And then he is very displeased as Sayer rugby tackles the rest of his team into him. All of Phoenix crashes onto the floor, and then they freeze mid-tumble as the glowing orb of a liminal flitters into existence around them. Lumira, your fingers splayed, your arm thrown out as you sustain this liminal and bid your strike team to run. And Yinghe says, quite loudly, especially for them, "I'll make another distraction!" And they run toward the floor-to-ceiling glass wall of the Recluse Gallery. And with surprising strength, they are a vampire after all, they grab a statue, art piece, they lift it up and they throw it at the glass wall. There is an explosion of glass. The window pummels outward, and Yinghe follows suit immediately afterward. They run out of this broken window. Nova, how do you follow?
You look like a vision. I love you very, very much. Also, I'm so sorry, Zai.
Zynon looks at Naeem, seeing his home. I'm so sorry. And he turns to run.
Lumira grabs your hand, interlacing your fingers. She gets it. She really does. And you
He
feel
squeezes
those
back.
warmth of comfort through your fingertips from her. Together, right?
Anything for my family.
You feel Sayer's hands on both of the smalls of your back as he pushes all of us on forward. And
Strike, go ahead.
That was the end of my sentence. Thank you.
And Strike Team Nova, you tumble out in a cascade of shattered glass and you roll onto the grass of the front lawn of the ICMA. And we're going to end the session there. Thank you all so much for tuning in to this penultimate episode of Arc 3 of the Chaos Protocol. Wowzers! I wonder what's going to happen next week! So it seems like Val dropped again because of the Ethernet, so during our introduction, we'll pop him in whenever he comes back. But for now, I'm going to pass things over to Hamna as our guest.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hamna. I use any and all pronouns, and I am a TTRPG performer and producer. It has been my pleasure to be Rhododendron Takrar for Arc 3 of the Chaos Protocol. Thank you all so much for having me, and Yeah, it's been so good. If you liked Ro and all of this nonsense, you should follow me on the social medias at LilithTTRPG. Where I talk about all of my different projects and whatnot. The one that I will shout out as always is over on my multimedia production studio, Tender Vicious Studios. We have a new TTRPG actual play out right now called Lori's House. Lori's House is a AP about imperfect memory, identity, and community. It is absolutely beautiful, and you can find it anywhere that you pod your casts. Just look for Lori's House or follow us on social medias at Tender Vicious Studios or tendervicious.com. If you like Kai and C's work, they are as part of the AP, so definitely go check it out. We're only 2 episodes in, so easy to catch up. If you've already listened, listen again. You might find something new or something old. I don't know. And with that, I will pass things over to Val.
Hello everyone, my name is Valiant Dorian. I use he, him, his pronouns. You can find me all across the internet at Valiant Dorian or at Also Spirit Bear. Please enjoy that lovely treasure I just set you on. And tonight I had the distinct pleasure of playing your Doom Boy Sayer who uses he, they pronouns. I'm gonna pass on over to our lover boy of the hour.
Oh God. Hi everyone, I'm Kai. I use he, they, and she pronouns. I'm great. I see you, chat. Thank you for the concern. I'm fantastic. Crying as a treat is one of my favorite things. You can find me all over the internet as Estelle of Imladris and back here at Lori's house as well, but back here for the finale next week, where I'm so scared. Sam?
Hey, it's me, the residential Team Nova problem TM. I'm Samstar. I use she, they, and the occasional fate pronouns. You can catch me all across the interwebs at Lust for Life X, more specifically on Blue Sky. Catch me back next week for the finale of this. Who knows what's gonna happen? Follow me on the interweb if you like my work. We just, or if you want to hear something absolutely silly and absolutely ridiculous after something that was so heartbreaking, you can find me currently on SS Bad Ships with the Do You Validate Network. We just started releasing arc 7 of our show. So if you like funny, absolutely ridiculous, wild, Saturday morning anime type APs. We're playing the Scum and Villainy system. We are all a bunch of absolute dog shit messes over there. So go listen to that wherever you pod your casts. Off to the boss to send us home.
The boss sending us home. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in to this episode of the Chaos Protocol. If you liked what you saw here tonight, consider leaving us a positive review, joining the Discord server, or posting about, I love that all of you do that in synchronicity, or posting about us on social media. It helps our creator brains when we're about to burn out. I can sense it coming! But it also helps us continue to reach out to sponsors to help make this work possible. We're gonna be back next week. That is Saturday, May 3rd at 8 p.m. US Eastern Time, right here, usual place, usual time, for the grand finale of Arc 3. Can you believe it? We started this arc in October or November of last year or something like that. It's already been an entire arc, and it is going to be a redonkulous time. I cannot wait to throw all the twists and the turns at all of you and see where Nova ends up next. And with that, we are going to be raiding someone, I believe, right now. Someone really awesome, no doubt. Use the raid message in chat. If you're on YouTube, hop on over to our Twitch so you can join the raid if you would like, and stick around for that. Send them our love. We love you all so much. We will see you here next week, same time, same place. And in the meantime, journey well, Transplay nerds. Trust in her will.
Trust in her.